Welcome to NFL World, where NFL starts and ends. And I hope, excuse me. Welcome to NFL World, where NFL starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob. And I'm a little under the weather, so I'm going to do my best, okay? If you haven't lived under a rock, you know the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. This show will specifically be on, excuse me, why that happened. Let's add some backstory to this game. Prior to Super Bowl, that Saturday, it was announced that Vic Fangio, the defense coordinator of the Eagles. See, we even got Daniel in here today. And congratulations to you too, Daniel, on the Eagles win. I'm a Cowboys fan, but I give credit where credit is due. They dismantled the Philadelphia Eagles dismantled the Kansas City Chiefs. They were insane. They got after Mahomes. They made him antsy. He was nervous. Tom Brady kept saying, like, the greatest thing about Mahomes is his footwork. How many times did Tom Brady have to go and say, look at Patrick's footwork? It is so bad because he's all jittery. He's sliding left, he's sliding right. And what happens in those situations are when you have an inconsistent offensive line, you're getting hit, you're getting crushed over and over and over again. You have two options. You can either try to sit in there and take it, or you try to run around. What did Mahomes try to do? He ran around. Vic Fangio had the perfect game plan. Get pressure with the front four, stay in coverage the entire time, because they knew the Chiefs could not score fast and couldn't really take many deep shots, because that's not their game. They want to go down the field 5, 8, 10 yards. The Chiefs had one first down. That was on the first play of the game. That's pitiful. That is absolutely pitiful. Okay. That is absolutely pitiful. They were so bad. And those are things that need to be figured out. The offensive line is bad. Joe Thuney got bull rushed a lot. That is forcing pressure on the left side of Mahomes. I know Joe Thuney's not the left tackle. I understand that. But he got beat. And as the game went along, he got better. But he got beat. Mahomes then on the other side was getting pressure because Jawaan Taylor kept getting beat. It was 6 sacks. I'll put this in perspective for you. When the last time the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got pressure with the front four 41% of the time. In this game, 45% of the time. This is Tom Brady saying 45 to 47% of the time. Nearly half the amount of time they got pressure without blitzing. Mahomes looked scared. He looked jittery. He turned the ball over, 3 turnovers, 2 picks, and a fumble. Like, this was not a good showing from the Chiefs. And let's jump to Travis Kelce really quickly. Travis Kelce was awful. He only had a catch in the third quarter with like 6 minutes or 3 minutes left to go in the game. They only scored in the final minute of the game, the third quarter, excuse me. It took them 44 minutes and 26 seconds to score. They couldn't score. They couldn't move the ball. I had family over there saying, "Oh, but watch out, he's coming. He's gonna be really good in the second half." And I'm like, they can't move the ball. They really can't. Maybe the Eagles were right. Maybe the Eagles were right about that Super Bowl 2 years ago where the field was so slippery they couldn't corral Mahomes. I don't believe that, but I'll tell you this first. This Chiefs team was not good. They struggled. They actually did a good job against the run, but I was thinking it would be the opposite. Saquon would have a big game. The passing team of the Eagles would not be very good. And it wasn't. It was the complete and total opposite. They stopped Saquon for the most part, and they stopped Kenneth Gainwell in the run game entirely, but they couldn't stop the pass. 17 to 22 for Jalen Hurts. That's a mistake, and I haven't seen Steve Spagnuolo look so out of sync on defense in a long time. A lot of guys got nicked up, including your best player, Chris Jones. He came back in, but he really couldn't push off it that much. The Eagles, they go out there and they played great. They operated efficiently. They didn't try to force anything. There was the one pick on the pressure where he's backpedaling, but other than that, it was a flawless game from the Eagles all around. Didn't turn the ball over except that one turnover. They pushed the ball down the field. Couple deep shots that went for touchdowns or big gains. I thought the officiating was really good in this game, so I was proud of that. But I'm concerned if I'm the Chiefs. Now you got a lot of free agents right now. You got Trey Smith, who's the best offensive lineman you got outside of Creed Humphrey. You got, and I think Joe Thuney is also a free agent. I'm not 100% certain on that. Juju's a free agent. He'll probably come back. DeAndre Hopkins is a free agent. We'll see if he comes back. Hollywood Brown is a free agent. We'll see if he comes back. Nick Bolton's a free agent. We'll see if he comes back. Charles Owenehue is a free agent. We'll see if he comes back. There's a lot of free agents. And the Eagles have free agents too. They have a couple first 1 year contracts or 2 year contracts, but they spent wisely in free agency. Something that neither the Chiefs did or anyone else did. They spent wisely. The quarterback to win. That was the point. So when you hear owners that go and say, yeah, well, we did this, this, and this, and you truly didn't. I'm talking to you, Jerry Jones, where you said, we should be here, but you don't do anything, and you just put all the pressure on your quarterback and your wide receiver. It's not going to work. It's just not. Look at the Eagles did. They scrapped everything. They brought back C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They brought in Zach Bond. They brought in Milton Williams. They kept Brandon Graham around. Josh Sweat is a free agent. They brought in Bryce Huff. They go, and I know he got hurt, but they brought those guys in. Then they go on offense. They bring in Saquon Barkley. They bring in Mekhi Becton, who everyone thought was a bust, including myself. They brought him in, changed him to guard. He became a great guard in this league. These are things that they are doing. It's showing that, hey, this is not what we want. We're losing some guys. Let's scrap the whole thing. Let's rebuild quickly. Let's bring in free agents. Let's bring in draft picks because they brought in Quinyon Mitchell and they brought in Cooper DeJean, who had a pick six on his birthday. That's the first time a player had a pick six on their birthday in a Super Bowl. And I believe he's also the youngest player to do it. I think he's 22. He is, they put him in the lineup and he was awesome. They made plays. Like I said, they got after Mahomes, 6 sacks. These are things that teams do well. And it also showed, like I said, officiating was pretty good. It was pretty tight in the beginning. Some of it wasn't pass interference. The first one I don't think was. But according to the rule, it says it is. I don't think it was. But there was definite issues. They dominated, the Eagles did, in all three facets. Now, would I give the MVP to Jalen Hurts? No. I would have given it to the defensive line if I could have, or the defense entirely. But let's go back to Vic Fangio for a second. 66 years old, has been in a Super Bowl prior to this, lost in New Orleans, by the way, when he was with San Francisco. He was in Miami last year. I thought he did really well with all the backups that he had. He did really well. But they didn't give him the credit. And because he's old school, he's not Mike McDaniel age, he's not fun, he's kind of does his own thing. They got rid of him. At least that's what I think. They got rid of him because he was not fun. He was strict. He had to be the adult in the room. And he goes to Philadelphia where he's born. He's born I think he was a couple towns over from Philadelphia. He fits this team. He's a good he's a good organizational guy. That's what he does. And they struggled early, but then they turned it around. They ran the ball more. Kellen Moore did. Called more runs. Excuse me. They ran the ball more. It was more successful. They got pushed on the offensive line. The defense was prospering. They got the second best record in the conference. They get to the Super Bowl. They win the Super Bowl. They beat probably the best quarterback. But I also want to finish off with this. This game is Mahomes' legacy now. The 2 games that he won, you can say a lot of things that were, a little bit. They had like I said, the slippery field, the hold in that game when Philadelphia played the Chiefs the first time 2 years ago. Then last year, they had the play of against San Francisco, where San Francisco just didn't run the ball in the third quarter. That's how they got back in the game, got back in it. They were down 10. They got back in and they won the game. This team can't score 30 points. Once I saw the Eagles score 30, I was like, okay. Outside of the Chiefs doing anything, they're not going to score 30 points. I don't see it. We were, like I said, 34 seconds left in the third quarter, and they just scored. It's not good enough. That is not good enough. And that is the reason, that's the complex reason of why the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions in 2025. For NFL World, I'm Jacob Hebert. Out.